Hey, fairy grasshoppers, it's Bridget. Hi. Oh, probably not the funnest of topics, but we need to have a real conversation. At least I want to share with you some of what's moving through me today. We're going to talk about grief, and we're going to do it in a way that is gentle and authentic and loving. So, this cup of coffee is so warm, it feels good. It feels good on my hands. It feels so good. Just appreciating the little things, when we're feeling so much grief. So, the question you might have would be, oh, Bridget, what are you grieving? There's a lot of things we could all be grieving. This is layered. So I'm going to share with you something that you already know. This isn't profound. Grief is layers. It's not a one-time event. It's not, doesn't have an expiration date. It's about giving ourselves time to process and to be present. When the emotions come up, the feelings come up, we deserve to take care of ourselves by giving ourselves attention to the feelings. And I have been certainly doing that. I've been feeling a lot lately. My work with you, my connections with you in sessions and here on videos is evolving around the heart. I use the term empath a lot. I talk about empath, feeling, being a feeler, a sensor, being the go-to for everybody energetically, because that's what you are, right? That's why we connect. That's why we relate. Because I am too. Just so happens. And I've been gifted the opportunity to feel more deeply my own feelings. Now, because I do channeling on Above Life channel, and I do, deep intuitive and connection work with you, you know that I feel, right? Yeah, you know that I feel. That's one of my superpowers, I think, in psychic work. But when it comes to myself, I'm very protective of my feelings. And what that really means is I try to keep them organized and neat and in a file cabinet somewhere. So I can go about living. I have a hair on my lip. I don't know why. It's not like I have a lot of hair, but apparently I have a hair on my lip. Oh, distractions. Oh, feelings. Avoiding feelings. So I've been gifted the opportunity to let myself feel deeply, and I'm going to do that, and it's not easy. It is a roller coaster. It is beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. It makes me emotional how beautiful it is. And profound. And I know that there's transformation in this place that I'm in right now, in the feeling part. And yet, when I ask myself, what's the intention? Is there an intention or a goal? Or the goal is love. That is what it is, in all the ways, all of the ways. Not compartmentalized. Love in all of the ways. And letting myself be emotional with you is important, because you have to see that it's okay to process physically through your feelings by crying. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine to cry, especially when you're grieving. Now, this beautiful process of unfolding is happening with my heart opening even wider and broader for myself. It's opening inward, you guys. It's blooming in. to support me, to love me, make me even a better version of myself. And so I can experience life more full on, sensory, wide open, like opening the floodgates. Like seriously, I feel like I'm having a heart awakening. And I'm here for it some of the time. Some of the time I'm like, oh, good God, Goddess, what is this going on? And then this morning, I felt an incredible amount of grief, just devastating grief, like a sense of loss, so strong. And it's not one thing, it's layers of grief. I brought lots of tissue. I've been going through the box this morning. I had a rough night last night. That's one of the things that happens when you're having an awakening, apparently, in the heart. An empathic awakening is, for me, it's another level of psychic awakening for me. Legit, you guys. I thought I'd been there, done that 17 years ago, but clearly not. There's always room for improvement. And my team says there's always room for enjoyment. Archangel Michael is here, so if you feel energy, if you feel or see or sense energy, you'll feel Archangel Michael's energy right now with me here, because it provides a layer of protection so that I feel secure to be vulnerable with you and share with you my process, to let you see it, because this is real life. And we are psychic, intuitive, energetic beings, but we have to live real life. And how does this work? And I'm going to show you how it works by showing you how it works in the experience of the expression in the moment. Now, I'm not going to feel like crap all day long. I don't really feel like crap necessarily. I'm feeling feelings, which is not neat, clean, organized. It's very messy. It's not pretty. It's very ugly cry. Now I know why they call it ugly cry. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I have my hair longer on the side so I can kind of cover up my face a little bit. Oh, come on, you guys. You know you do it too. So the layers of the grief. It's like devastating grief. Like halted me. It actually woke me up. And I was just sobbing. I needed to get, it's like all of a sudden stuff was coming out of me like a volcano. Feelings. And it was very clear to me that I felt a tremendous sense of loss. I felt loss, grief, death. I felt death. I felt the endings, which are bookends to the beginnings. And this I know intellectually, and I know as a psychic, the process, endings and then beginnings, endings and then beginnings. And there are many parts of ourselves that must die. Old beliefs, old patterns, old structures, old ways of doing things, so that we can begin again in a fresh way, with a renewed commitment. Yeah, that's a good word. I'm going to say that word a lot. A renewed commitment to living life, really fully living. And that means fully feeling all of the feelings, not just the good, not just the fluffy, light, good, positive all the time, but the depth. And the reason why I know that this is about love, or the intent or my goal in opening the heart of the floodgates of the heart is love, is because the depth of grief is so big. And it's not the fear of loss, it's the actual feeling of loss. So like all of the things I've lost in the past, whether it be relationships, like I've been divorced, whether it be loss as in pregnancy. I've had a miscarriage and had the experience of pregnancy loss twice. I've had loss of pregnancy early on. And I've had loss in perhaps maybe expectations for myself for life. Maybe there's some things that maybe there's some things like career-wise or business-wise that I feel a loss for or a grief about, maybe. I'm not consciously aware of those exact details, but I suspect that that's a topic area that I would have some layers of grief. And in my human life experience with physical death, August 1st will be 19 years since my dad died at the age of 52, which I've said before in other videos. And to me, for some reason, that's like really poignant for me, is his age. And I think it's because it's not that far away for me necessarily to get to that age. So I'm not going to tell you how old I am. You can figure it out. But I think that's why I'm like, if I only had a handful of years left, how would I make sure that I make them count? I would live full out. And that means feeling. And that means letting the grief come forward to purge out or push out the limits, the old expectations, the old beliefs, the old voices of definition of how I see myself or how others have projected to see me. Just like I'm sure I've projected on others how I see them. I'm thinking about my kids, actually. So grief, layers of grief. In a couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks, my oldest son, goes to college. Then there'll only be 2 left at home. And then my third kiddo will be a senior. I'll have another senior, you guys. Wow. So there's a lot here. And I feel this kind of strange, almost eerie-like peace at the center of my belly now, because I have been processing for hours. It's going on about 4 hours now, and it just comes up. And I'm going to let it. I'm going to let it. And I don't have to explain, although I will have to probably tell my husband why I'm randomly crying all the time. It's not hormonal, thank you very much. He would never say that because he knows better. It's natural to feel our emotions, and I think we need to start doing that. I know we need to start doing that. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing this video, to give you that experience. If I need to feel by proxy for you right now and cry for you, I will cry for you. And I don't care how ugly it is. There's so much beauty in the truth of the authentic expression of our emotions. And I am committed to the process. And I'm even a little chilly out here, you guys, this morning. It's a little damp and chilly. A little chilly. I should have brought a blanket. I'll cuddle up with a blanket on the back deck. Ooh, that sounds nice. Yeah. I'm going to be contemplative and let myself just feel without holding on too tightly to any one particular facet or aspect of the grief that it comes up. And when it comes up, if I need to know about it, I will know about it. I did ask my team to help me, thus Archangel Michael here helping. And I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. The thing is when you grieve so much and you feel so much depth of grief or sadness, just because sadness, that's a good word. That's the word that was there. Oh my gosh, it was there for hours, you guys, hours today. I was like, the reason why we feel so deeply the grief and the sadness is because there is so much love. There's so much. I'm beginning to be curious whether the opposite of love, the opposite emotion to love, isn't really fear, which many people say the opposite of love is fear. I'm beginning to wonder if that's not actually accurate. If that's not accurate. Maybe the opposite of love is pain. That pain, that sense of loss or distance or separation or unknown, the unknown, you know? Is it possible to grieve the future? Maybe that's what many people are doing right now, is grieving the future, the unknown. We don't know what we're going to be like as a society, as families, as individuals, a couple of months or a couple of years from now. And maybe that's a difficult place to be, and maybe that's a collective grief. That's interesting. That's an interesting intellectual kind of perspective. But I feel better, so thanks for talking with me. Thanks for being here, Fairy Grasshoppers. I love you guys so much. I just totally adore you. I will always be real with you as much as I can be, and really share with you what's up, what's going on. And so, all right. Thanks for being here.